Hi, this is Gary with MACMOST.com. Let me show you how to export photos from the Photos app on your Mac. MACMOST is brought to you thanks to a great group of more than 1,000 supporters. Go to MACMOST.com/Patreon. There you could read more about the Patreon campaign, join us, and get exclusive content and course discounts. So before I show you all the different ways you can customize how you export photos from the Photos app, let me assure you that if you want to do it just really quickly, you can. So the simplest method is you're just in the Photos app here and you just drag and drop to the Finder. This could be the desktop or have another Finder window open right here. Just drag the photo over and then you can see it appears right here. And if you want to export several photos, you can select several. I'm going to hold the Control key down to select them. Drag and you can see it's exporting 3 and now there's going to be 3 photos right here in the Finder. This could be in this folder here or on the desktop or anywhere you want. Or perhaps you want to go directly into another app like Pages or Word or maybe into an email message. So for instance here I am composing a message in the Mail app. I could go to Photos. I could select the photo or photos that I want, drag and drop right into the message here and it adds it into the message. Note that when you do this in Mail, always pay special attention to the image size here. All too often I get people that select small and then the image is too small to be usable, especially if it's a screenshot. So you want to choose medium for a larger file but better quality of course, and large for really good quality, or the actual size if you want to send somebody the image so they could actually add it to their photos collection. You want to give them the full resolution image. But what about if you really want to customize how you export? There's a lot you can dig into. So instead of dragging and dropping, first select the photo or photos that you want and let's go and edit it first. Now you don't have to edit it to export, but a lot of times we really should. Even if you want the original photo to just stay like it is in your photos collection, you'll see how you can edit it here and easily get back to having the original here. So let's go in here. I'm going to double click and then I'm going to go to Edit and here I can do a variety of different things. For instance, I could adjust the lighting or color. I could go to Crop here and crop it here and get it looking just like I want. I go to Filters if I like and choose a different filter. Let's do that one and done. And now this is what the photo looks like in my Photos library. So now when I drag and drop to export, I'll actually get this. But when I'm done the export, I can always go back in and when I go to Edit, notice there's Revert to Original. And I'll just undo all those changes, give me my original photo back. Or right here you can always go to Image and then you have Revert to Original here without even having to go and edit it. So next let's go to the export options. If I go to File and then Export, you can see I can export one photo the normal way to do it and it has a keyboard shortcut Shift-Command-E. There's also Export Unmodified Original for one photo. So this will ignore all of those changes and actually export the original image, the exact file that was imported in from your camera or that came from the iPhone or whatever. We're going to select Export One Photo here and now we get all these controls. First we can select the photo kind. Usually you want to use JPEG. That compresses the image but is slightly lossy. So it's not pixel perfect but chances are when you took the photo you saved it as either JPEG or HEIC, which is slightly lossy as well. So exporting as JPEG isn't really that big of a deal. And if you select JPEG here, you can click there and now you can select the quality. So you can have low, so lower quality but smaller file size, to high, to maximum, which is really high quality but a larger file, definitely much larger than low. And the other thing you could choose here is size. You can go small, medium, large, or full size and these will create a smaller image just like we saw there in Mail. So small will create a much smaller image. Maybe if you want to just send somebody something really quick and it's not meant to be saved anywhere. You probably want to go with large or the full size image if it's meant to be added to somebody's photo collection or you want them to have the best quality. But you could also go to Custom and then you get the options to choose the width or the height and it will adjust the other dimension so it stays with the correct ratio. So you could for instance say I want it to be 1000 pixels wide and then whatever height would then match that so the photo looks the same. You could also go dimension and say that I want one dimension to be 1000 pixels and the other dimension to be smaller. So 1000 at the maximum size, either height or width. But let's say let's go with large here. So we have a JPEG, high quality, large. We can decide what to include. This will be included in the metadata of the photo. So things like the title, keywords, and caption. You also can decide whether location information is shared. So if there's GPS info embedded in the photo, whether that would be included in the export. So in many cases, say we're sending to a friend or family member, of course you want to include that. But sometimes when posting to social media, you may want to have that removed, especially if it's a photo of, say, your work or home or something, and you don't want somebody to be able to download that photo from social media and figure out exactly where that photo was taken. So that's a privacy feature more than anything. So you could choose the file name, either use the original file name, so the one that the camera assigned to it. You can use the title if you assigned a title to that photo, otherwise it'll default to the file name. You could also do sequential, so you can include a prefix like photo, and if you had selected export, say 10 photos, it would number them 1 through 10. And you could also just do the same thing but using the album name. So if you're exporting from an album, that would work there. So in this case it's the album test, and it would export test and then put a number after each photo. You could also decide on a subfolder format. So using the moment name, so that's usually like the month and year or something similar, and then it would put each one of those in a folder. So if you say selected 100 photos and they were spread out over 7 different moments, you would get 7 folders with the different images from each moment in the proper folder. The best way to fully understand the file name options and the subfolder format options is to experiment. It doesn't hurt to select some photos you have now. Try exporting to the desktop or a temporary folder and see the different results you get when you choose different options. Even try that with sizes, try that with quality, and see what you get. A few minutes of experimentation right now can give you a really deep understanding of all these options, so when you need to use them, you know exactly which ones are right for that situation. I also want to point out that there's some other photo kinds you can choose. TIFF and PNG are lossless, and they're usually not great for photos. JPEG is best for photos, but if you're exporting something like a screenshot, then PNG will give you the highest quality. Or if you're exporting to bring it into another app like Photoshop, Pixelmator, or one of the Affinity apps or something, and you want the highest quality there because you're going to be adding more layers and doing more editing and things, then you may want to consider PNG, or some photographers prefer TIFF. There are a couple more export options if you want something different. For instance, I'm going to select all these photos here, 10 of them. And one thing I could do is I can go to File, Share instead of Export. And I could airdrop all 10 of these photos to a nearby Mac or iPhone. It's kind of the equivalent to drag and drop, but to another person or device. I could also go to Share and Mail. And it will take all 10 of those photos, and you can see now they're in one mail message. And again, I could adjust the size here. You could do the same thing to messages to send somebody a message with a photo. Another thing you may want to do is go to File, Print. And what this can do for you is export a PDF. So if you want to take a bunch of photos like these 10 right here, you can set the options. So we can choose an option like this where there's 2 on each page, or maybe an option like this where there's a whole bunch on one page. Whatever you want to do, I'm going to leave it here with this option and change it so that there are fewer columns. Actually spreads out over several pages like that. And then I'm going to go to Print, and instead of printing I can go PDF and then either open in Preview, and then I can save it out of Preview, or save as PDF. You can give it a name here if you want. I can save it out. And now I've got this PDF file here. I can open up in Preview and see the different pages of the PDF. So this is a convenient way to send a group of photos to somebody as a single file. Or maybe for some work reason you need to send a bunch of photos inside a PDF like this. So there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can export your photos from the Photos app. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, click the thumbs up button below to let me know. I publish new tutorials each weekday. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out.